Welcome to KCA Production, your home for premium African storytelling and entertainment. Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe to KCA Production for more amazing content. Welcome to what we believe is the most complete, most historically rich, and most emotionally compelling celebration of Nigerian acting talent ever assembled in one place. We're about to meet 40 extraordinary men and women, people who built Nollywood from the ground up, who carried it through its golden years, and who pushed it onto the global stage, and who are now taking it further than it has ever been. Nigeria's film industry is the second largest in the world by volume. Every year, it produces thousands of films in dozens of languages, watched by hundreds of billions of people across Africa, Europe, and the Americas, and beyond. But behind every great industry are great people, artists, who give that industry its soul, its language, and its power to move the nation. We have arranged our list not by mere popularity or recent fame, but by history, because Nollywood did not begin on Netflix. It began in the theatres of Ibadan in the 1960s, on the stages that Hubert Ogunde built with his own hands. In the laughter that Baba Salah pulled from audiences who had very little else to laugh about. We begin at the beginning. We honor those who came first, and we walk our way forward to the present day, to the streaming era, to the global audience, to the generation of Nigerian actors and actresses who are right now, at this very moment, writing the next chapter of the greatest story African cinema has ever told. 40 names, 5 decades, one extraordinary industry. Let us begin. At number 40, we have Wunmi Toriola. Wunmi Toriola is one of the most exciting and most commercially powerful actresses working in Nigerian cinema today. A performer who has built a career that spans the full spectrum of Nigerian entertainment, from Yoruba film to mainstream crossover cinema to digital content, and who has demonstrated at every stage that her talent is more than equal to whatever format and whatever audience she is reaching. Born on February 25th, 1985, in Kwara State, Wunmi became widely known to national audiences through her role in the television series Tinsel, which introduced her to viewers outside the Yoruba film ecosystem and demonstrated a naturalness and comedic intelligence that made her immediately lovable. Through the 2010s and into the 2020s, she has continued to grow in stature and enrich, building a body of work that is characterized by an instinctive understanding of character, a gift for physical comedy, and a warmth that audiences across demographics respond to with genuine enthusiasm. The year 2024 was a landmark one for her. The theatrical film she headlined became one of the highest grossing Nigerian films of the year, collecting an extraordinary 350 million naira at the box office. Meanwhile, her independently produced UTO film Aseju attracted over 2.1 million views, a demonstration that her appeal extends powerfully into digital content space that is increasingly defining the next era of Nigerian entertainment. Wunmi Toriola is funny, intelligent, deeply professional, and entirely in command of her own craft. She's one of the brightest and most fully realized talents in Nigerian cinema. At number 39, we have Ini Dima Okyoji. Ini is the kind of actress who makes other actors want to raise their game. She brings to every production a level of preparation, level of commitment, and theatrical precision that comes from training of the highest order. And she wears all of it lightly, allowing the character to breathe rather than training to show. Born into a family with strong cultural and artistic roots, Ini attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London, one of the most prestigious and rigorous acting schools in the world. And every performance she has given since carries the unmistakable hallmark of that world-class education. She came to wide Nigerian attention through her lead role in television series Halita, a romance drama that found a large and devoted following, and has since built an impressive filmography that spans multiple genres and multiple platforms. Her performance in The Night in 2005 and 2024 was widely praised, a controlled, emotionally resonant piece of work that demonstrated why she is considered by many industry insiders to be one of the most technically accomplished young actresses in Nollywood. Ini is also a deeply thoughtful public personality, articulate, reflective, and genuinely engaged with questions about representation, storytelling, and the responsibility that comes to the platform that acting provides. She approaches her career not as a ladder to climb, but as a body of work to build. And the results of that long-term thinking are already visible in the quality and consistency of what she has produced. She has a long way still to go, and the destination, if her trajectory continues, is very high indeed. And number 38, we have Bisola Ayeola. Bisola is one of the most multi-talented, most vibrant, and most genuinely joyful personalities in all of Nigerian entertainment. A woman who brings her whole, fully lit self to everything she does, and who seems constitutionally incapable of giving anything less than her absolute best. Born on June 2nd, 1985 in Lagos, Bisola is an actress, a singer, and a television personality who has built a career defined by excellence, versatility, and an authenticity that audiences find completely irresistible. She was working as an actress long before she became a household name, appearing in production across television and film, and steadily building a reputation for someone who showed up fully prepared and gave fully committed performances, regardless of the size of the role. It was her appearance on Big Brother Nigeria Season 2 in 2017 that introduced her to the mass audience she had already deserved. She has a scene-stealing quality that directors love and audiences respond to immediately. Her role in Everybody Loved Jennifer reminded everyone who might have had any doubt that Bisola Ayeola can hold her own in the biggest productions Nigerian cinema has to offer. She's electric on screen, magnetic in person, and deeply committed to the art of making people feel something real. In a landscape full of talented performance, Bisola occupies a very particular, very irreplaceable position. At number 37, we have Genoveva Ume. Genoveva Ume is the rising star that everyone in Nollywood is talking about, and with very good reason. Born on May 8, 1995 in Enugu State, this British Nigerian actress arrived in the public consciousness like a thunderclap with her extraordinary performance as Timmy Lane in Netflix Blood Sisters, which premiered on May 5th, 2022. The role was demanding in every way, emotionally complex, morally ambiguous, psychologically layered, and Genoveva met every single demand with a confidence and controlled emotional power that immediately established her as a performer of exceptional caliber. The series was widely watched across Africa and internationally, and it was Genoveva's performance that viewers and critics most consistently singled out as the most compelling and most memorable. That one role was enough to announce that Nigerian cinema had found a remarkable new talent. But she did not stop there. In 2024, she won the Best Supporting Actress award at the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards for her performance in Breath of Life, a second major award that confirmed that the first had not been a fluke, but the first public evidence of a talent that was always there. She was voted Breakout Actress of the Year at the Net Honors in 2022. She continues to attract major roles, and each new project is anticipated with genuine excitement, both within the industry and among audiences who recognize that they are watching a career in its accent. Genoveva Ume has that rare, indefinable quality that the camera adores, and audiences instinctively trust. She is young, gifted, and she is only just beginning. At number 36, we have Stan Nze. Stan Nze is one of the most compelling and consistently impressive actors working in contemporary Nollywood. A performer of genuine depth and brooding intensity, whose career has grown with impressive steadiness from promising to exceptional. Born on November 30th, 1990 in Lagos, Stan studied at the University of Lagos before committing fully to a career in acting. And the academic discipline and analytical intelligence of that training is evident in the way he approaches every role he undertakes. He does not play characters on the surface. He excavates them, finding the interior life, backstory, specific psychology that makes each person he portrays genuinely believable and genuinely human. His performance in the supernatural thriller Suspicion in 2024 was one of the standout male acting achievements of the year. A performance that occurred a challenging, tonally complex film with a quiet, controlled intensity that kept audiences completely riveted throughout. His ability to carry the emotional weight of a film that makes significant demands on its lead, while simultaneously conveying the supernatural dread that the story required, demonstrated a level of craft that marks him as one of the most genuinely gifted actors of his generation in Nigerian cinema. Stan Nze is also known for his marriage to actress Blessing Obasi, and both personally and professionally, he is building something of real substance and real longevity in this industry. At number 35, we have Kehinde Bankole. Kehinde is the thinking person's actress, a performer who brings an intellectual rigor and emotional depth, and a technical precision to her work that sets her in a category apart from most of her contemporaries, and makes every performance she gives an event worth witnessing. Born in Lagos, Kehinde studied at the New York Film Academy, and that world-class training is the foundation upon which she has built an extraordinary body of work. She first came to widespread national attention through her starring role in the drama series Adire, a performance so nuanced and completely inhabited that it earned the Best Actress in the Drama category at the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards in 2022. 2 years later, in 2024, she won the Best Lead Actress award at the AMVCA, the industry's most prestigious honor for a female performer. 2 major awards in 2 years is not luck, it is confirmation. Kehinde does not make noise about her talent. She shows up, she does the work, and lets the work speak with clarity and force that makes noise impossible to ignore. At number 34, we have Uzoamaka Aniol. Uzoamaka is one of the most critically revered and creatively compelling actresses in contemporary Nigerian cinema. A performer whose work is characterized by stillness, precision, and emotional honesty that draws audiences in rather than pushing them back, inviting them to lean closer and look deeper rather than simply observing from a distance. She is the kind of actress that critics and fellow actors tend to watch with particular attention, recognizing in her work a level of craft that represents something genuinely exceptional in the landscape of Nigerian film. She appeared in Daniel Orai's psychological thriller The Weekend, a film that earned her a Best Actress nomination at the 20th African Movie Academy Awards, one of the most prestigious recognitions in African cinema. She also featured in Prime Video's With Difficulty Comes Is and in Phoenix Fury, which won Best Film and Best Director at the Africa International Film Festival. Her other projects that year included Love Notes and Shaping Us. Each of these productions demanded something different from her, and in each, she delivered a performance of distinctive quality. Uzoamaka is not the loudest name in Nollywood's current landscape, but she may well be the deepest. She represents a quality of acting that elevates every production she touches, and Nigerian cinema is immeasurably richer for her presence. At number 33, we have Bimbo Ademoye. Bimbo Ademoye is one of the most exciting creative forces in contemporary Nigerian cinema, a performer, writer, and filmmaker who has built her success not waiting for the industry to create a place for her, but by creating an entirely new space on her own terms and filling it with work of exceptional quality and originality. Rather than waiting for film studios or streaming platforms to offer her the right roles, she built her own YouTube channel and began producing her own content. And the results were extraordinary. By 2024, her channel had accumulated nearly 1 million subscribers, and her independently produced films were generating viewership numbers that rivaled major studio productions. Unexpected Places garnered 12 million views, Last Straw attracted 10 million views, Reels collected 6 million views. These are not just impressive numbers, they were a declaration of creative independence and demonstration that the audience for her quality Nigerian storytelling is fast, hungry, and ready to be found wherever the storytelling is excellent. Bimbo is funny, bold, technically skilled, emotionally intelligent, and fiercely ambitious. She represents a new generation of Nollywood that is not asking permission to be great. She is already there. At number 32, we have Chioma Akpota. Chioma has been making Nollywood audiences fall in love with her for over 2 decades, and the love affair shows absolutely no signs of ending. Chioma came to prominence in the early 2000s and quickly carved a niche as a versatile actress of genuine comic talent and considerable dramatic range. A woman who could be outrageously funny in one scene and quietly devastating in the next, and who seemed to do both with complete ease. For years, she was one of the most consistent and most beloved faces in Nigerian cinema. Her performance in Seven Doors, the critically acclaimed Netflix production, surprised even her most devoted fans and reminded the entire industry that they had been perhaps underestimating what Chioma could do when given material of real weight and challenge. Her dramatic work in that film was described by critics as powerful, mature, and completely committed, an actress revealing the depth that the lightness of her earlier work had kept partially hidden. She has also been a deeply beloved presence in Nollywood social world, warm, generous, consistently uplifting in her public presence, and widely respected by her peers as a woman of genuine character and kindness. Chioma is a founding member of the Nollywood Sisterhood that has defined an era of Nigerian womanhood on screen, and her role in that collective legacy is both central and irreplaceable. She is one of the Nollywood's finest, most enduring, and most genuinely loved performers. At number 31, we have Shafi Bello. Shafi Bello is the living, breathing proof that greatness in acting does not belong exclusively to the young, and that sometimes the most extraordinary chapter of an artistic life is the one that happens after the world expects you to have already said everything you have to say. Shafi is a veteran actress and performer whose career spans decades of Nigerian entertainment, from the 1990s through to the present day. After years of building a distinguished body of work across theatre and television, and then stepping somewhat back from the spotlight to raise her family, Shafi returned to the screens with a triumphant second win that took the entire industry by surprise. Her performances in recent productions including Christmas in Lagos, The Queen's Gambit, Life and Dirt, The Waiter, Suspicion, and Beats have showcased an actress operating at a level of depth, authority, and emotional sophistication. She does not act characters, she inhabits them with the full weight of a rich lived human experience, and every moment she spends on screen is saturated with that weight in the most beautiful possible way. At number 30, we have Gabriel Afolayan. Gabriel Afolayan, known to his fans as Gabi Lucy and to the music world as G Worldwide, is one of the most naturally gifted, most compelling performers in modern Nollywood. Gabriel belongs to a family of actors, but he has carved his own identity, his own voice, and his own extraordinary legacy completely independent of the family name that came before him. He is first and foremost an artist, an actor, and musician whose work is characterized by a rare quality of ease and naturalness that can only come from a deep, genuine love for the craft. On screen, Gabriel seems to exist within his characters rather than performing them. There's never a moment where you are watching an actor, you are always watching a person. His performances in Seven Doors and Lisabi in 2024 were widely praised as among the finest of his career, demonstrating a maturity and emotional depth that only come to the years of committed, thoughtful work. At number 29, we have Femi Branch. Femi Branch is the kind of actor that makes you stop whatever you are doing the moment he appears on screen. He commands attention without demanding it. He fills the scene without dominating it. He finds the truth in character without announcing that he has found it. These are the rare gifts of a truly exceptional performer, and Femi Branch possesses them in abundance. A product of Nigeria's rich and rigorous theatrical tradition, Femi has spent decades building a career of quiet, consistent, extraordinary quality that has earned him deep respect from the artistic community and a devoted audience that genuinely understands what they are watching when he performs. He has appeared in numerous productions over the years, always delivering, always contributing, always elevating whatever he touches. At number 28, we have Ibrahim Chatta. Ibrahim is a colossus, a performer of such staggering talent, such volcanic intensity, and such absolute command of his craft that it's genuinely difficult to understand why it took so long for the full breadth of Nigerian entertainment audiences to recognize what the Yoruba cinema fans have known for decades. He does not perform the character in a movie, he becomes the character. Every moment, every pause, every glance, every eruption of emotion completely authentic. completely controlled and devastating. He's the kind of actor that makes other actors better simply by being on the same set. He has won the City People Entertainment Award for Best Actor in the Yoruba movie multiple times. He has also won the African Magic Viewers Choice Award. But our awards, however numerous, only tell part of the story. Ibrahim Chatta is a national artistic treasure. At number 27, we have Adisuwa Tommy Wellington. Adisuwa arrived in Nollywood like a breath of extraordinary fresh air, a performer of genuine theatrical training and natural charisma. Born on February 22nd in 1988 in Oshobo, Osun State, Adesiwa studied theatre art at Coventry University in the United Kingdom before returning to Nigeria to pursue her acting career. Her early work demonstrated maturity and a technical precision that set her apart from many contemporaries. Her breakout film, Knocking on Heaven's Door in 2014, announced a new talent of exceptional promise. What followed was a meteoric rise. Her appearance in Wedding Party franchise, playing the lead opposite her real-life husband, musician Manky W, made her one of the most visible and beloved faces in Nigerian popular culture. The films were box office smashes, and the couple's real-life romance played out in full public view and celebrated in a star-studded wedding made them arguably the most beloved couple in Nigerian entertainment. Adesiwa brings her work with a combination of comedic lightness, romantic warmth, and genuine emotional depth that makes her compelling in virtually any genre. And number 26, we have Lateef Adedimeji. Lateef is one of the most exciting and most complete actors working in Nigerian cinema today. A performer of extraordinary versatility, whose career has accelerated from impressive to genuinely remarkable in remarkably short space of time. He rose to prominence through the Yoruba film sector before successfully crossing over into mainstream English language Nollywood and premium streaming productions, demonstrating along the way a range that few actors of his generation can match. In 2024, he starred in and produced Lisabi for Netflix, a production that became one of the most searched Nollywood films of the year and which introduced him to a massive new global audience. He also featured prominently in House of Gar, Queen Latifah, and Everybody Loves Jennifer. What makes Lateef truly extraordinary is his ability to completely disappear into a character. Together with Mobimpe, they represent the brightest and most hopeful face of the modern Nollywood. Lateef Adedimeji is a star in full bloom. At number 25, we have Femi Adebayo. Femi Adebayo is one of the most powerful and most important creative forces in Nigerian cinema today. A man who has built an extraordinary career as an actor, director, and producer. He is also widely credited with being one of the primary architects of the premium Nollywood era that has captured global attention. A trained lawyer who chose storytelling over the courtroom, Femi spent years establishing himself as one of the finest actors in Yoruba cinema before his ambitions led him to the bigger canvas of Nigerian production. It was his Netflix series Jagun Jagun, an epic visually stunning Yoruba action adventure produced in 2023 that announced to the world that Nigerian cinema could compete at the very highest level of global streaming content. At number 24, we have Funke Akindele. If Nigerian cinema has a reigning queen of the box office, her name is Funke Akindele, and the crown has been on her head so long and so firmly that it has begun to look like it was made specifically for her. Funke first won the hearts of Nigerian television audiences as BC in the public health drama I Need to Know, performance that demonstrated early her extraordinary ability to inhabit a character completely and make an audience care about her. But it was the Jennifer franchise that made her a generational legend, a series of films, and the television series Jennifer's Story that followed the adventures of a hilarious, irrepressible village girl navigating city life, and which became one of the most beloved and most profitable franchises in Nollywood history. Through her production company, Scene One Productions, Funke has not only acted in but produced and directed films that have consistently broken box office records. Her film, A Tribe Called Judah became one of the highest grossing Nollywood films ever made. It was then surpassed by her own Everybody Loved Jennifer, which became the fastest Nollywood film to gross 1 billion naira, achieving that milestone in just 19 days. These are not just Nigerian records. These are significant achievements by any measure in the global film industry. At number 23, we have Odunlade Adekola. In Yoruba Nollywood and increasingly across the wider landscape of Nigerian cinema, one name stands above all others as the supreme champion of the people, Odunlade Adekola. He began his career in the Yoruba language film sector and quickly established a reputation as a performer of extraordinary range, someone who could deliver devastating dramatic performances and side-splitting comedic ones with equal skill, often within the same film. His comedic timing is considered by many in the industry to be the finest of its generation. But Odunlade Adekola is much more than a gifted performer. He's an industry. He founded his own film production company and has produced a vast body of work that has consistently found massive audiences. His Yoruba films have been among the most commercially successful in that sector, and his crossover into mainstream English language Nollywood has happened naturally and successfully. At number 22, we have Iniedo. Iniedo is one of those rare performers who seems to become more compelling with every passing year. A woman who entered Nollywood with striking beauty and genuine talent, and has spent 2 decades proving that both run incomparably deep. She has starred in over 100 films, earning nominations and awards at the African Movie Academy Awards, the Nollywood Movies Awards, and many other prestigious ceremonies. In 2014, the United Nations appointed her as a Youth Envoy for UN Habitat, a recognition of her influence that extended well beyond the boundaries of entertainment. Her more recent work in productions like Shantytown and Bege has demonstrated an actress who is not content to rest on the laurels of a distinguished past glory, but one who continues to push herself into new creative territory. She is timeless, endlessly relevant, and completely irreplaceable. At number 21 is Rita Dominic. She is one of the most elegant, most refined, and most quietly powerful presence in Nigerian cinema. A woman who has built a career not on flash or spectacle, but on the slow, steady accumulation of genuinely excellent work delivered with grace and intelligence. Her screen presence has always been distinguished by a naturalness and nuance that set her apart from many of her contemporaries. She does not push her performances, she allows them to breathe, finding the truth in every scene without ever appearing to strain for it. She has also appeared in well over 100 films across her career, winning multiple industry awards and earning the deep respect of her peers. Beyond performing, Rita has been a significant force in the business of Nigerian cinema. She co-founded Film House Distribution, later known as Film One, which became one of the most important film distribution companies in Nigeria. At number 20, we have Kate Henshaw. Kate is one of Nollywood's most enduring, most versatile, and most respected institutions. She has delivered compelling performances in dramatic thrillers, romantic comedies, action films, and social dramas with equal skill and equal conviction. She is equally at home in English language and pidgin language productions, giving her an accessibility that has made her beloved across every demographic of Nigerian film-going audiences. Kate is also known for her remarkable physical fitness. She has been one of the most vocal advocates for health and wellness in the Nigerian public sphere, sharing her fitness journey openly on social media and inspiring millions of followers. She is not just an actress, she is a statement. At number 19, we have Desmond Elliot. Desmond is one of the most complete and multi-dimensional figures the Nigerian entertainment industry has ever produced. An actor, a director, a filmmaker, and a public servant whose contributions to Nigerian life extend far beyond any single role or production. Desmond moved increasingly into directing, and it was behind the camera that his real artistic ambitions became fully visible. He won the African Movie Academy Award for Best Director in 2010, cementing his status as not merely a performer but a genuine filmmaker with a distinctive vision and voice. He directed some of the most successful Nollywood productions of the 2000s, developing a reputation for pulling exceptional performances from his cast and telling Nigerian stories with a visual sophistication that raised the bar for the entire industry. But Desmond Elliot's story takes its most interesting turn when he entered politics. In 2011, he was elected as a member of the Lagos State of House of Assembly, representing the Surulere constituency 1. He has served multiple terms, bringing the same intelligence and commitment to governance that he brought to storytelling. Desmond Elliot has genuinely used the hard work of representation. He is one of a kind. At number 18, we have Mercy Johnson Okoji. When people talk about the most naturally gifted actress in the history of Nollywood, someone who can cry and command, erupt in fury without warning, dissolve into helpless laughter, and break your heart all within the same space of a single scene, the name that comes up mostly consistently is Mercy Johnson Okoji. When Mercy cries, you believe she's in genuine pain. When she rages, you feel genuinely alarmed. When she loves, you want that love to survive. She does not perform emotions, she inhabits them. This quality has made her one of the most sought-after actresses in Nigerian cinema for over 2 decades. She has won Best Actress awards at virtually every major Nigerian film award ceremony, including the African Movie Academy Awards, the Best of Nollywood Awards, and the City People Entertainment Awards. Beyond her acting career, Mercy Johnson is also a deeply beloved public personality, warm, funny, endlessly relatable, and profoundly committed to her faith and her family. She's married to Prince Odienonsa Okoji, and her family life has been as warmly embraced by her fans as her professional achievements. She is quite simply one of the most complete and compelling artists Nigerian cinema has ever produced. And number 17, we have Jemai. Jemai is Nollywood's original bad boy, and he wore that crown with a swagger and self-assurance that made it entirely his own. Tall, chiseled with the brooding danger that leapt off the screen, he became one of the most bankable stars his generation almost overnight. His early roles in productions like Never Say Never, Wrong Number, and a series of high-energy romantic thrillers established him as the embodiment of a new kind of Nollywood hero. Female audiences across Nigeria and across Africa adored him. His fan base was among the most passionate and devoted in the industry. Jemai was also one of the first Nigerian actors to truly leverage celebrity as a brand. He was known for his extravagant lifestyle, his fleet of luxury cars, and his unapologetic embrace of his own public persona. Over the years, he has deliberately evolved as an actor, taking on more complex and layered roles that have challenged and dismantled earlier assumptions about his range. He has ventured into film production, music, and entrepreneurship. His highly publicized life, including a celebrated public exorcism that became one of the most watched videos in Nigerian internet history, has kept him in the public eye continuously. Jemai is more than an actor. He's a cultural phenomenon whose very name evokes a specific, irreplaceable moment in Nigerian entertainment history. And number 16 is Patience Ozokwo. Patience did not merely play villain, she became the definitive villain of Nigerian cinema, so perfectly and so consistently that the entire country gave her a name and made the role eternal, Mama G. Her ability to portray wicked mother-in-laws, scheming relatives, and morally corrupt authority figures with such devastating precision made her the most frequently cast villain in classic Nollywood. Her eye contact alone in confrontation scenes could make viewers physically uncomfortable. Her voice, her bearing, her absolute commitment to the dark corners of human nature in her roles. These were the tools of a genuinely formidable artist. And yet, the remarkable thing about Patience Ozokwo is that she is in real life one of the warmest, most generous, and most deeply spiritual personalities in the industry. Mama G is a legend who earned every letter of that title the old-fashioned way, through decades of spectacular, fearless work. And number 15 is Nkemo Osofia, often known as Osofia. There is only one Osofia and the world knows it. Nkemo, born on 7th, 1958 in Udi, Enugu State, is one of the greatest comedy actors that the African continent has ever produced. A man whose creation of the character of Sophia became not just a Nollywood icon, but a general, genuine cultural phenomenon across national borders. He studied electronics engineering before finding his way to acting. A path that his quick technical mind and his exceptional ability to dissect human behavior for comedic effect was clearly always leading towards. His portrayal of Osofia, a bumbling, culture-shocked village man, navigating the alien world of London, unable to understand what he cannot simply buy, eat, or beat into submission, was a comedy masterclass. Nkema was a national treasure, a continental treasure, and simply one of the funniest, most gifted human beings to ever grace a Nigerian screen. And number 14, we have Ramsey Noah. Long before the term loverboy was attached to any Nigerian actor, there was really only one name that the description could ever have meant: Ramsey Noah. Ramsey Noah has always been much more than a handsome face. He's a serious filmmaker with a genuine artistic vision, and it was a 2019 production, Living in Bondage, Breaking Free, that proved beyond any doubt. The film, a sequel to the original 1992 Living in Bondage, which is itself one of the founding texts of modern Nollywood, was directed by Ramsey Noah and became a massive box office success, breaking records and introducing him to an entirely new generation of Nigerian film fans who may not have grown up watching his romantic roles. He remains one of the most complete, most enduring, and most beloved figures in Nigerian cinema. A man who moved seamlessly from being the face of an era to being one of its most important architects. At number 13, we have Omotola Jalade Kehinde. When Time magazine places you on its list of the 100 most influential people in the world alongside heads of states, global businesses, leaders, and world-changing innovators, you know you are dealing with something that transcends the ordinary boundaries of celebrity. That is where Omotola stands, in a category that is very, very few entertainers ever reach. Born on February 7, 1978 in Lagos, Omotola, beloved by fans as Almost Sexy, began acting at the age of 17 and never slowed down. She went on to star in over 300 films across more than 3 decades, earning herself the title of Africa's most watched actress. In 2013, Time magazine included her alongside Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, and other transformative figures in their annual list of global influencers, a moment that announced to the world what Nigerian audiences had always known. To watch Omotola Jalade Kehinde on screen is to watch someone who was born knowing exactly what they are supposed to do with their life. She is simply one of the greatest. At number 12, we have Genevieve Nnaji. There is no list of the greatest Nigerian actors and actresses of any era that is complete without Genevieve Nnaji. A woman who did not merely rise to the top of Nollywood, but who fundamentally changed what Nollywood could be and where it could go. She has won the African Movie Academy Award for Best Actress, has been a UNICEF ambassador, and served as a cultural ambassador for Nigeria in ways that extend far beyond any single film or role. But it's her directorial debut, Lionheart, that most dramatically announced the scale of her ambition and vision. The film, which she also produced, became the first Nigerian film to be acquired by Netflix for global distribution. She is a world-class artist of international standing, and the story of Nigerian cinema cannot be told without her name in enormous letters at its very heart. At number 11, we have Richard Moffett Damijo. There is a reason that Richard Moffett Damijo is simply called RMD across Nigeria, across Africa, and wherever Nollywood is watched, because the man needs no introduction and no elaboration. RMD is arguably the most suave, most sophisticated, and most enduringly compelling actor that Nollywood has ever produced. Trained as a journalist at the University of Lagos, she later added law to his qualifications, and every ounce of that intellectual sharpness shows in the precision and intelligence with which he approaches every role. He first captured widespread attention through television series Checkmate in the early 1990s, a production that made him a household name and introduced Nigerian audiences to a new kind of leading man: thoughtful, articulate, and devastatingly charming. He also won the winning Best Actor awards at the African Movie Academy Awards and consistently delivered performances of genuine depth. RMB's ability to play romantic leads, complex villains, patriarchs, and conflicted men of authority with equal conviction is a rare gift. Richard Moffat Damijo is Nollywood royalty, and he wears that crown with a kind of graceful authority that makes it feel entirely natural. On number 10, we have Kanayo or Kanayo. The name Kanayo Kanayo carries a very particular electricity in Nigerian popular culture. Kanayo Kanayo, a trained lawyer close to the Nigerian bar, and an actor of deep conviction, and one of the most iconic personalities Nollywood has ever produced. His performances in Living in Bondage, Blood Money, and a string of other supernatural thrillers were so convincing that the line between the actor and character blurred in the public imagination. To this day, Nigeria shockingly tag him in posts about rituals and secret societies, a testament to the lasting power of performances given over 3 decades ago. Kanayo Kanayo has also been deeply involved in humanitarian work and political advocacy. In recent years, he has embraced his legendary status with considerable humor and grace, engaging actively with a new generation of fans on social media who have discovered his classic performances. At number 9, we have Liz Benson. Liz Benson MAA is a name that resonates deeply with everyone who grew up in Nollywood in its golden home video era. A performer of commanding presence, undeniable charisma, and extraordinary range. She starred in iconic productions across both Igbo and English language Nollywood, and her films were among the most watched and widely distributed of their era. She appeared alongside many of the biggest names of the period, including Pete Edochie, Olu Jacobs, and Richard Moffat Damijo, and consistently held her own, and often stole the scenes entirely. What makes Liz Benson's story even more compelling is the remarkable personal transformation she underwent. In the late 1990s, she became a born-again Christian and largely stepped back from secular entertainment, a decision that was widely covered and which she had never regretted. Liz Benson is a true legend of Nollywood's foundational era. And number 8, we have Ngozi Nwonsu. There are actresses who are good at their crafts, and then there are actresses who become part of the very soul of Nigerian popular culture. Ngozi belongs entirely to the second category. A woman whose voice, mannerisms, and screen presence were so distinctive that her characters became cultural reference points long after the films themselves had run their course. Her ability to play deeply comedic characters while simultaneously conveying genuine emotional truth was extraordinary. She was sharp, she was funny, she was real, and audiences loved her unconditionally for it. Ngozi also battled significant health challenges over the years, including a public struggle with illness that she faced with remarkable courage and dignity, earning the outpouring of support and love from an industry and nation that had grown up watching her. She represents the heart of classic Nollywood, a period when Nigerian cinema discovered that it could make its own stars, tell its own stories, and fill its own screens with characters that felt entirely Nigerian. At number 7, we have Joke Silva. Elegance, excellence, and enduring grace, 3 words that perfectly capture the life and career of Joke Silva. She studied at the Weber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art in London, giving her a technical foundation that has informed her every performance she has ever given. Joke Silva, beyond her performing career, has been a dedicated educator and mentor, teaching acting and contributing to the training of the next generation of Nigerian performance. She is married to Olu Jacobs, a pairing that Nigerian audiences have celebrated for decades as the first couple of the industry. Between them, they represent more than a century of combined acting excellence and unimpeachable artistic integrity. Joke Silva has received the AMVCA Industry Merit Award and numerous other lifetime recognitions. She is a definition of what it means to commit an entire life to the art of storytelling. At number 6, we have Pete Edochie. If Nigerian cinema were a mountain range, Pete Edochie would be Everest. Pete Edochie was a broadcaster, and he began his career in 1967 as a junior programs assistant at the Eastern Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, rising through the ranks to become director of programs and even acting managing director. His transition into acting came via the role that would define not just his career, but the entire era of Nigerian cultural life. Okonkwo in the Nigerian Television Authority's landmark adaptation of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart in 1987. Edochie was 30 years old when he played the role. He was recommended for the audition by a colleague who had watched him in the broadcasting house and believed he was born for the part. Pete Edochie has since appeared in over 200 films, won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the AMAA, been honored with a Member of Order of the Niger by the Nigerian government, and received the African Film Legend Award in 2020. He is Nollywood's greatest, full stop. At number 5, we have Adeyemi Afolayan. To truly understand Nollywood, you must understand the Afolayan family, and the patriarch of that dynasty is legendary Adeyemi Afolayan, known universally and affectionately as Ade Love. He was a Nigerian film actor, director, and producer whose work in the 1970s and 80s helped lay the very foundation of what would eventually become the world's second largest film industry. He subsequently produced and starred in Ija Omenira, also directed by Balogun. His independently produced film Kadara, meaning Destiny, was also acclaimed that he was screened at the 9th Tashkent Film Festival for African and Asian cinema, an extraordinary honor for a Nigerian production of that era. He went on to produce and star in Ija Orogun, Taxi Driver, and Iya Niwura, each of which became beloved classics of the Yoruba film tradition. Gabriel Afolayan is one of Nollywood's finest actors. Moji Afolayan and Aremu Afolayan have both built distinguished careers of their own. Kunle Afolayan is one of Nigeria's most celebrated contemporary filmmakers as well. The entire Afolayan family tree is a living monument to what Ade Love began. At number 4, we have Olu Jacobs. In the world of Nigerian acting, very few names carry the weight, authority, and sheer timeless elegance of Olu Jacobs. Born on July 11, 1942 in Ogun State, Jacobs represents something extraordinarily rare. Nigerian actor who was trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London, the same institution that shaped generations of the world's finest theatrical performance, and who brought that world-class training back home to help build one of Africa's most powerful creative industries. His legacy is celebrated internationally. His international breakthrough came in 1979 when he appeared in the celebrated Hollywood film Ashanti alongside Michael Caine, a fact alone that places him in an entirely different category from almost every other actor in Nollywood history. Back in Nigeria, Jacobs became the definitive patriarch on screen. His commanding baritone, slow deliberate delivery, and his regal bearing made him a natural choice for kings, elders, and men of authority in countless productions. In 2013, the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards honored him with their first ever Industry Merit Award. In 2016, the African Movie Academy Awards conferred its Lifetime Achievement Award upon him. Olu Jacobs is not just a Nollywood legend, he is a world-class artist who chose to pour his gifts into the Nigerian story. At number 3, we have Chidi Kosoko, one of the most enduring and respected figures in the entire history of Nigerian entertainment. A man whose career began as a child actor in 1964 and whose relevance has never once wavered in over 6 decades. As Nollywood entered the home video era in the 1990s, Kosoko transitioned effortlessly, producing his own film Asirinla in 1992, which became a significant success. He continued appearing in major productions across both Yoruba and English language Nollywood, bringing gravitas and authenticity to every role. Regal, wise and commanding, Chidi Kosoko is a living bridge between the founding era of Nigerian entertainment and the global streaming age. There is simply no equivalent. At number 2, we have Moses Olaiya Adejumo Babasala. If Hubert Ogunde is the father of Nigerian theatre, then Moses is the immortal Babasala is without question the father of Nigerian comedy. He fronted a high-life group called the Federal Rhythm Bandits in the early 1960s, a group that notably included a young Sonny Ade as the lead guitarist. Inspired by a groundbreaking work of Hubert, Olaiya formed the Alawada group and developed a signature comic character Babasala, a lovable, bumbling pensioner with an outsized clock for a wristwatch and trousers several sizes too big. His films toured not only Nigeria but also Germany, Belgium, Britain, and even the United States. An extraordinary achievement for a Nigerian filmmaker of his era. Babasala passed away peacefully in October 2018 after a life so full of joy and laughter that his name would be synonymous with Nigerian comedy for as long as the country stands. The history of Nigerian entertainment cannot be told without him at the very center. And number one, we have Hubert Ogunde. Long before Nollywood was a word, there was Hubert Ogunde, the man who built the very stage that Nigerian entertainment now stands on. Born on July 10, 1916 in Osasa, Chief Hubert Ogunde is rightly called the father of Nigerian theatre. His journey into the performing arts was unlikely. He was a police constable who found his true calling in the power of storytelling and song. In 1945, while still serving the police force, he founded Nigeria's first contemporary professional theatrical company. Ogunde used his theatre as a weapon against colonialism and later as a mirror of post-colonial politics. He even appeared in the 1990 Hollywood film Mr. Johnson alongside Pierce Brosnan, one of the earliest instances of a Nigerian actor crossing into international cinema. Hubert Ogunde passed away on April 4, 1990 in London, but his legacy is eternal. Every Nigerian who has ever stood on the stage or faced a camera owes him a debt that cannot be repaid. And there you have it, 40 names, 5 eras, 60 years of Nigerian storytelling. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to KCU Production for more amazing content and stories like this. See you in the next video.